When Wisconsin Lieutenant Governor Rebecca Kleefisch heads home after a tough day at the office, her life is like a lot of Wisconsin moms who have 2 kids, a husband, and a house to take care of.
Bless this food. Thank you for all that you've given us. Amen.
The family calendar on the fridge tracks speeches to constituents and which parent is picking up the kids from gymnastics, play practice, or grandma's house.
From Opal, Mommy will pick up from gym.
The schedule is full, and so is the house. A Good Life crew visited one day when school was out. Fancy the dog was curiously checking out the gear and the crew. So were the policy advisor and state trooper, who remain close at all times. Despite the challenging itinerary, life does indeed seem good for Rebecca Kleefisch.
I would say I'm living the good life. I mean, if you can try and change the world from your little corner of it, what's not good about that? I think that's an incredible blessing.
That blessing comes with a mission, apart from political life. Wisconsin's Lieutenant Governor is urging you to listen to your body. Her story starts in 2010 when she was a political rookie married to State Representative Joel Kleefisch.
I was campaigning for lieutenant governor, 35 years old. I had a 4-year-old, I had a 7-year-old. Never in my wildest dreams could I have imagined what was going on inside my body, because I didn't have the traditional colon cancer symptoms. There wasn't blood in my stool. I didn't have any outward signs. Now when I reflect on those times, I was very tired and I was pale. I was losing weight fast. And by the end of the day, when I would get into the car, I would back into the car, my bum first, and I would literally have to pick up my knees to get my legs into the car.
Being so weirdly tired didn't seem so weird at all. She was in a heated 5-way primary to run for lieutenant governor, and meeting the obligations of the campaign and her family was beyond exhausting.
My mom and my husband became so concerned with how I was acting, you know, the cramping and the exhaustion, that they said, this is not normal, this is not what the other candidates are going through, this is weird, and this is a health issue, and this is unique to you. And they said, you need to go to the doctor. So I did. It was the colonoscopy that changed my life. When I came out of the colonoscopy, I remember the GI doc hanging over the side of the bed, telling me the same words 81 people a day in Wisconsin are told: you have cancer. And I remember him at the time delivering those words, worst news possible, accompanied by his story. He said, 9 years ago, I had stage 4 brain cancer, and I lived to tell you about it. It was the worst news almost delivered by an angel, because in that moment of extreme trial was extreme hope.
Her tumor was the size of a grapefruit, but the odds were still for her. A stage 2 cancer, if removed, meant she had nearly an 80% chance of survival. To remove her cancer, she chose Dr. Kirk Ludwig, a leading colorectal surgeon at Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Center near Milwaukee.
Cancers of the colon and the rectum generally all start out as a polyp, and then a polyp will take years to develop, and it may take years to turn into a cancer.
This is what polyps in the colon look like. Men and women should begin getting colonoscopies at age 50, earlier if you have a family history of colon cancer. Signs and symptoms of colon cancer include a change in your bowel habits, including diarrhea or constipation, or a change in the consistency of your stool, rectal bleeding or blood in your stool, persistent abdominal discomfort such as cramps, gas, or pain, a feeling that your bowel doesn't empty completely, weakness or fatigue, and unexplained weight loss.
If there is a message in this, I mean, certainly listen to your body, but I thought that I was listening to mine. I had very bizarre circumstances. Does a 35-year-old usually end up with colon cancer? Nope. Is there a growing number of younger patients? Yes. And so I would urge people to definitely listen to their bodies and get it checked out.
It's one of the major cancer killers every year in the United States in both men and women. So people may not quite understand that. They may not understand how common it is. 1 in 20 people will end up with a colon or rectal lesion at some point in their life. In screening, we try to identify polyps. And if you remove polyps, which you can do with screening colonoscopy, then you essentially remove the risk of getting a colon or a rectal cancer.
The blessing of a colonoscopy is it can honestly prevent you from having full-blown disease. Colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death in America. And shockingly, colon cancer is preventable. You don't have to get it. You can get a colonoscopy instead and then tell funny jokes about it all day long. Colon cancer could kill you. And so there's a very deep contrast in those two things. But at the end of the day, you don't remember the colonoscopy. Only the doctor lives with that memory.
For The Good Life, I'm Jody Lyon. This segment of The Good Life is brought to you by Group Health Trust, your partner in health.